Right at 11, a hurricane warning extends from Boca Raton north along the coast past the Treasure Coast.
WPTV First Alert Chief Meteorologist Steve Weigel with your 11 p.m. update. Steve?
All right, lots to talk about. We have a hurricane warning, as just mentioned, along our coastline, and tropical storm warning for the inland areas. The storm trying to get better organized. Certainly looks better on the satellite presentation this evening as it moves through the Bahamas, a little over 300 miles away from South Florida and moving in this direction northwest at 15. The winds at 80. That's the 11 p.m. advisory. Saturday, 8 p.m., 85-mile-an-hour winds, Category 1 off the coast of Miami, and then working very close to the Jupiter Inlet. This would be Sunday at 8 a.m. You'll notice the track is starting to slow down a little bit. The earlier track in this same area was around midnight. So as the storm moves closer, it is expected to slow a little bit, and we are expecting that a Category 1 hurricane will be very close or potentially make a landfall over our area. It is certainly a possibility, considering the error cone continues across most of Palm Beach County and the Treasure Coast, or it could shift offshore once again. The track has really not changed much or at all from the 5 p.m. advisory. It parallels the coastline of the Treasure Coast as a Category 1 and then moves up the coast rapidly and getting caught in the upper level winds, eventually up into the North Atlantic for later in the week. Here are the computer model tracks tonight. They're not in great agreement, but they're certainly trending toward the west a little bit through the evening hours. They come in typically between 8 and 10 p.m. and we'll get the new Euro model coming in around 2 in the morning. That'll be an indication of at least another piece of information on this. The red line there is the official forecast track from the Hurricane Center. So hurricane warning for the Treasure Coast, coastal Palm Beach County. The dividing line here is 441. Back to the west, tropical storm warning for Okeechobee County. What does that mean? It means tropical storm force winds are likely along the coastline as we get into tomorrow afternoon. I think the morning's okay. It'll be gusty winds, a few rain squalls, but the real heavy weather doesn't start until later in the day. The strongest winds, and I know you're watching this area here, they do work in along the coastline of northeastern Palm Beach County around midnight tomorrow. There's a timeline. There's Sunday, 2:30 in the morning. As I said, the timing has changed a little bit slower now. So we're looking at 2:30 on Sunday. That's after midnight tomorrow night, just brushing along the Jupiter Inlet and then tracking that core wind field along the Treasure Coast, along east of US 1 and A1A. And there's a timeline Sunday afternoon at 1:30. Even 1:30 on Sunday, still a large swath of tropical storm force winds showing up. It's going to be later Sunday. So the timing for this has slowed down a little bit now by a few hours. That's obvious on that track there. Probability of seeing tropical storm force winds 39 miles an hour stronger, about 70 to 80%. So very high. The probability of seeing hurricane force winds 74 miles an hour stronger, about 5 to 10% for the coastal areas. That's low, not it is still a possibility, 1 in 10 chance, something that we're going to have to watch out for, because that's when we really start to see damaging winds. So there's a low chance, but the chance is there. I'm going to toss it over to James with more.
Yeah, so we're looking at the models, and the models actually have tightened up a little bit here through the evening hours. Remember when I showed you before, it's about a 100-mile difference or so. It actually went all the way through Grand Bahama or so. Now it's only about halfway through. It's about 50, 70-mile difference in the models. However, with the hurricane winds only extending out 20, 30 miles from the center, every mile counts for us. So if it happens to go farther offshore, that would be a better case scenario, taking that eastern track. And a worst case scenario makes a direct hit and the center comes ashore with the core of the rain. So what's the best and worst case scenario that we could have here this weekend? First, let's be optimistic and look at the best case scenario here. Storm moves east, the core doesn't hit the land, it stays just offshore. Heaviest rain and winds will too. However, we'll still see tropical storm force wind gusts, 30, 50 mile per hour winds possible, a few inches of rain possible, some storm surge too, 1 to 2, maybe 3 feet or so, and some minor beach erosion, still large waves offshore. Now, the worst case scenario is it just comes and slams right into us. That's the farthest west track there, and the eye wall moves up the coast the entire time. 75 to 90 mile per hour wind gusts and some of those squalls that move on through. Of course, hurricane force winds, 6 to even 10 inches of rain, 2 to 4 foot storm surge, coastal flooding, erosion, and all of that is going to add up into some power outages possibility too, and a mess on the streets. Now, we were leaning towards this one. We're hoping for this one, but you always got to plan for this one here.